My immediate concern was, oh my God, who do I call? But I couldn't call anybody because everything was closed at the time. So immediately pulling her out of school, immediately making sure that I go and assess the damage, trying to figure out if we're able to get her into the same competitions coming up. She literally just texted me probably less than 48 hours ago. All of the different competitions that she had lined up for this year. We were supposed to go to Great Britain. We were supposed to go to a lot of places. I don't know if we can still do that. I don't know if that's possible. Because I don't know if she has the, their brain isn't even fully developed. Literally. So crazy. She had just sent me her pictures, her senior pictures, and she had also sent her schedule. Literally, this was yesterday at 10:22 p.m. At 10:22 p.m. Let me show you. See that? See the schedule? The tentative, see how it says tentative schedule? Leslie Daniels right here. She was sending me her tentative schedule for the calendar year. I don't know if she'll be able to do that. I've invested millions and millions of dollars. Millions of dollars into the well-being of my child. She's broken. She's broken. So for me personally, I have to figure out what that looks like. And I'm willing to do anything to protect my child, to make sure that they get the best care possible, to ensure that hopefully she can recover from this.
What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. I'm going to make one more video about this Anton Daniels thing because I think it's warranted. I think it's important for me to close it out, right? The same way I think hopefully most people are closing it out because Anton Daniels done gave up. All right, he's been exposed, he's been embarrassed. Everybody done made a whole bunch of goddamn videos about him. You know how it goes, right? And he's complaining about, rightfully so, about the effects it's having on his daughter, right? Which, like I said, I would have never said no shit like that, right? But the cautionary tale I want to tell you, right? This video is a cautionary tale, and I want you to pay attention to what happened to Anton Daniels, right? And let that be a cautionary tale. When you step out there in the arena, right? You got to understand it ain't just you going to war, right? And when you out there and you playing and you pretending to be tough guy, when you playing and pretending to be this and playing and pretending to be that in the arena, where sometimes there you gonna run into somebody that's not playing, and you want to follow certain rules, but in the real world there is no rules. In the real world, there's only one rule. It's the law of nature. Only the strong survives. Adapt or die. That's it. Everything else is inconsequential. Because at the end of the day, we all follow the rules of nature, right? So when you go to war, it ain't just you going to war. When I went to war, it wasn't just me that went to war. Even though, yes, physically it was me who went, right? But I took my mama to war with me. Even though she wasn't on that battlefield, she was on that battlefield. Every day she was on that battlefield. Every night when she slept, she was in them deserts in Afghanistan with me. Every day she was there, right? And if I went down, she was going down. And I knew that. Right? My grandma was there. My grandmama, every one of her brothers, when they went to World War I and II, when her husband went to Vietnam, she was at war. My grandma was at war for 40 years. All the way up to her grandson going to war. You got to understand, it ain't just you when you go out there on that battlefield. So you got to, if you're a real warrior, you got to understand. You got to understand that the things that you do affect your family. It don't just affect you. So if you, for the sake of money, want to go out here and you want to have a bravado like you some guy, if you want to create the energy, right, that you that dude, one day you're going to meet that dude. And then you're going to have to deal with that dude for real and not for fake. See, Anton Daniels is fake. And because he's fake and because the industry produces fake people and props up fake people. You see, Anton Daniels is what you call an industry plant. White people love people like Anton Daniels because they're willing to throw their community under the bus for some money, for some dead presidents, some promissory notes that really don't mean shit. You see, Anton Daniels got propped up calling other black men's daughters bitches. Now, I see that Anton Daniels, he looked like he want to take legal action. Well, if that's the case, then how many other traumatized women can take legal action against him for maybe traumatizing them, embarrassing them on the world stage, calling them all kind of bitchs? You don't know how you, Anton Daniels, have affected other women with your rhetoric over the years and how that money propped up your bank account. So, and by doing that, for a man that has a daughter, and that's the thing. If you are a man who's been married for 20 years, you got a daughter, you should have had a healthy respect for women. And for a man who was birthed by a black woman, you should have had a healthy respect for your mama. Because every time you called a woman a bitch, you called your daughter one. Every time you called a black woman a bitch, you called your daughter one. Every time you called a black woman a bitch, you called your wife one. Every time you called a black woman a bitch, you called your mama one. And now somebody finally said, F it, Anton Daniels, you ain't got to do it. Let me do it for you. I'll say it for you. And now you butthurt. Now you mad. Now your child, unfortunately for her, has to be made fun of. And you know what? She's not ugly. We all know she's not ugly. Your child's not ugly, bro. Your child's not ugly. She's a beautiful, dark-skinned child, right? But you should have thought about that before you went online thinking that you was some 6'9" tough guy, warrior that was intellectually superior to everybody and gave you the platform to just look upon all our community's little girls and women and call them bitches because you didn't agree about their political affiliation or because you was mad because they were being who they are, which is women, and talking to you emotionally because you are emotional and not masculine. You put your children in danger and you put your wife and your family in danger when you talk like that to black women. No one is going to have that much remorse from you because we can just roll it back. We can just roll that shit back and remind everybody who you really are. Nobody feels sorry for Anton Daniels. We only feel sorry for your child that was affected. I know another conservative, right, who has children, right, but the other one, but he's more careful than you. If you're going to be a conservative, if you're going to go against your entire community, you got to protect your children. And I'm telling you, your child has been a target ever since you decided you wanted to make money by throwing your community under the bus for dead presidents. You wasn't thinking about your child while you was calling all these ladies bitchs walking around at 5'8", acting like you 6'9". You wasn't thinking about your child's safety and well-being while you was out here disrespecting the entire black community for white people's freaking whatever it is that they want out of it, whatever makes them sleep at night. They need that shit for some reason. They need Negroes like you to throw your whole community under the bus. And while you were doing that, while you were stacking your bank account, while you out here paying for side pieces who just want to use your Oompa Loompa ass for a come up, while you were doing that, you were disrespecting your child. You were putting your child in danger. You were disrespecting your wife. You were putting your wife in danger. Because people crazy out here. You think life is a TV show. You think life is a webinar. You think life is the internet. Life is more than the internet. Real life is real life and don't care about none of this internet shit. And real people are real and some of them don't care about none of this internet shit. You understand? Because when that camera turns off, you still who you really are. That's why you need security when you walk around. You created an environment where you needed a security guard everywhere you go because you create the energy and environment that make people want to hurt you and take from you. You see, as tough as I am, I don't need no security guard. I go anywhere, no security. Why? First of all, I can handle myself. Second of all, if something happened, it's supposed to happen. And third of all, I don't even create that type of energy. I talk so much shit. I'll walk right up. I walk right up in an FBA meeting. What they gonna do? They gonna like me anyway. I create the good energy. They're gonna be mad that I've been talking shit, but they ain't gonna do nothing. I don't create that type of energy. You can talk shit and not create that type of energy. Like look at Charleston White. Look at the energy he create. It goes well beyond just being ignorant and saying fucked up shit. And this is the same community that popped up Charleston White while he been praising the death of our black children. You and him are the same, and you propped him up. You not only did you prop your ignorance up against the black community, but you propped up the worst elements of the black community, and you put that in everybody's faces. You plastered the worst thing you can possibly plaster to white people to make them feel good and reinforce the stereotypes that they have on us, putting our children in danger. Your rhetoric and the kind of content you make put our daughters in danger. You make it okay for white people to call our daughters bitches. You make it okay for white people to call our wives and our mothers bitches. So it goes around, comes around all the time. You can't stop it. So yeah, he gave up. He made a little video. I'm sorry. I hope your lawsuit failed because you deserve everything you get. Your daughter don't. But this was always coming for your daughter because of you. This is all your fault. You know how many families have been destroyed because their fathers went out and started some shit with somebody that wasn't playing? Whole families get wiped out. There's whole villages that can get wiped out. Whole cities have been wiped out because of the egos between two people. America dropped a nuclear bomb on a whole city, killing many daughters and sons. Why? Because they got mad, because they got tripped up in a war and got hit. Egos. Everything about you can be wiped out in this world. And same goes for Animal Kingdom. Huh? They got chimpanzees that go to war with whole other troops of chimpanzees and kill off all a generation. Nature ain't playing, it's brutal. And you got to be smart enough to understand how to navigate this world effectively, how to succeed. Because you can be strong, but if you ain't tactical and if you can't adapt, you're going to die. You can be strong and still die. Because one thing about strength, you can't fake it. You either got it or you don't. And one thing about intelligence, you either got it or you don't. And Anton Daniels has never displayed intelligence. He's only displayed active ignorance. And now his chickens have come home to roost because he let that shit get to his head. He let all that rah-rah, them white conservative white men who told him, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing. We're going to elevate you to the next level above those other Negroes because you're one of the good ones. You understand? So yeah, so now he's given up, at least socially, because he's done. He's done. He can't even do the same play anymore. He can't even do that, right? He can't do that. He's done. He's done. There's no platform in which anybody who, other than, I don't even know who watches. White people, maybe, white people don't care. They're like, whatever. We'll still support your Anton. Maybe he can still do that, but no black people will ever have respect for you because even when Corey said something about you should have said, it's time for the fair one. That's the only way. That is the only way you can make a comeback is line up the fair one. Everybody, it can be done. You can still make your money. Remember, you said you was going to make millions off this because you was talking so much shit afterwards. And Corey didn't say nothing. He was quiet. You kept talking shit because you thought your pants was bigger than they were. You thought your eggplant was bigger than it was. Huh? You thought your clout was bigger. You act like you more famous than him. You just the nigga on the internet who was willing to sell your community down the road for some white dollars. That's all you are. You was never famous. Nobody's gonna remember you for anything. You're not a legend. All right, Corey Holcomb, he may be a fucking dirtbag, but yeah, he dirtbag. But he qualified it before he qualified it. You say, hey, look, I'm a dirtbag. You should have known that. And you should have known that. You didn't do your research on Corey. Have you ever seen him stand up? You should have known he was going there. The dude went there with his own kids. All right? If he gonna go, listen, Corey last year went there with his own kids and his ex-wife. We all saw it. We were like, damn. If he gonna do that, what makes you think that your children are spared? You didn't take that shit in consideration, did you? Yeah, well, All lesson learned, right? And unfortunately for your daughter, she has to suffer because of the irresponsibleness of her father, who's supposed to protect her. And protecting her means not putting her in situations where she got to go outside and be embarrassed by her piece of shit sellout ass fucking father, who needs security walking around at 5'8" because he's created such a hostile environment in his own community. That's your fault. Anyway, that's all I got to say. This Afro Think Tank. Learn some, teach some. I'm out.
This is the funniest shit.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Times it can be hard and sad and difficult because Anton has a lot of different personalities, and so you have to be a certain type of woman to deal with. Anton is very emotional. He doesn't communicate effectively. I don't think that he has killed anybody before. I think he's capable of it. I've seen him angry before. He's just like a totally different person when he's angry. He blacks out.
All right. Now, she look like she'll be like, fuck it, I'll be with this little fat nigga. Baby, you ain't got to be worried about that nigga temper tantrums and all that shit like that.
People to go after underage children, I have to figure out how to pick up the pieces. I have to figure out how to pick. Corey, he won. Corey and Craig, you win. You win, I give up. I have to figure out what collateral damage happened after that. You guys win. I gotta figure out how to pick up the pieces. Family is in shambles. Daughter is in shambles. Literally having my wife take her over to get evaluated and figure it out because client inside of the principal's office trying to figure out what to do.
Ain't nobody trying to argue with you all damn day, bro. Shut the fuck up. Damn.
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.